course he's here. His kid's like a genius when it comes. He's 20 years old. Probably has like a whole battlefield.
So the difference when you have someone like Don Fry who's 94 and you get like a savage like me and Chase up in here, boom, instant.
Chase was here like yesterday. He was already here.
Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Nice.
Welcome to our brand new MMA Roasted Podcast. We got a stacked show today. Waiting for Mayhem to join us. We got the Phenom, 20-year-old undefeated fighter. Chase Hooper is here, as well as Ween Dog.
What's up, my brother?
I don't even know if you left your house since yesterday or left your room. I feel like you haven't. Chase, man, how are you doing with the whole quarantine? Talk to me.
I'm losing my mind a little bit, but the time off is good, I guess. I've never taken this much time off in the entire 12 years that I've been training, so it kind of sucks in that aspect. But it's kind of good to let my body heal, I guess. I'm just kind of chilling right now.
This is my daughter, by the way. She's too old for you. So just so you know. Now, Chase, do you live at home with your parents?
No, I actually have my own house.
You have your own house?
Sort of. It's not a nice house, but it's,
You bought your own house at 20 years old?
Sort of, but I rent it. It's weird. It's a weird scenario.
Where do you live?
I live in Enumclaw. It's a little farming town. It's pretty small.
Yeah, I actually met your coach, Jeff, came to my comedy show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, super nice guy. Very he's one of those guys that he likes you, but doesn't let you know that he likes you. He's got a
For sure.
I was like, this guy fucking hates me. And then he wrote me the nicest text, I had a great time. I'm like, really? Because I thought you wanted to murder me.
Yeah, he's definitely like that sometimes.
And we're talking about Jeff Howland, by the way, who another UFC vet. And he's sort of your guy, right? I mean, a lot of people have striking coaches and jiu-jitsu coaches and this coaches. He's kind of all in one for you.
Yeah, I've been training with him since day one, and he does all my management stuff too. He talks to UFC for me and all that. So he does kind of everything all at once. And as far as the striking stuff and the jiu-jitsu stuff, we'll cross train a little bit now because we can train around with because there's not going to be guys that I'm going to be fighting that I'm not going to know already that are in the UFC. So I'm able to kind of cross train at some of these other gyms now, which makes it nice. But yeah, he's been my guy since day one.
You're 20 years old and you've been fighting since you were 9, which is insane. So you walk into an MMA gym at 9 years old?
Yeah, probably 8 or 9. And I don't really remember the dates anymore. I was too young. But yeah, I just started training with jiu-jitsu and stuff. We added striking in a little bit too with some kickboxing. He used to spar us a little bit as kids. Jeff would, but he'd go super light and just kind of mess around with us. But yeah, I just kind of started training and I never stopped. I just gradually added stuff on jiu-jitsu tournaments. And then when I was 15 or 16, I made my way to doing smokers for kickboxing and then finally MMA.
Your parents brought you to an MMA gym at 9 years old. What, were you out of control? Were you too hyper? Were what? Because most parents don't drop their kid off at an MMA gym at 9. So how did that happen?
So my dad worked with Jeff. It was in 2008 when all the financial stuff was happening. So right as they both got laid off for work, my coach kind of opened his gym. And then my dad just brought us in. I don't know. I guess I'm a little white trash. So that's probably, that was part of it. But no, it's definitely, at the time, that was very much what MMA was, I think. But I think now it's kind of becoming a legitimate sport. So glad for that.
It's been a legitimate sport back when you were 8. I mean, that was only 2020, 2008. It was pretty, actually almost at its peak around then. That was when Brock Lesnar was champ, right? Wasn't that Lesnar?
Yeah. Those were definitely the peak tap out days.
Yeah. Now, did you play any sports in high school?
No, actually. By the time I got to high school, I was just kind of locked in. I already knew what I wanted to do as far as that stuff went. I did a season of wrestling, a season of football, and a season of, I think, track in middle school. I didn't really like doing any of those. So, that's when I just, went committed to the gym 100% and went down that path.
Now you're a beast in jiu-jitsu, but I coach wrestling for little kids. And I know when a jiu-jitsu kid comes in, I get like, I'm super excited about it because the kid knows his body, he knows his awareness. He might go to his back too much, which is annoying.
Yeah.
Not to, but I'd much rather have a kid know jiu-jitsu than not know jiu-jitsu. Your wrestling coach didn't gravitate towards you?
They did actually, but the entire season, because it was middle school, where most of the kids that are actually like serious about it aren't even doing like the school wrestling because they don't want to get hurt or whatever. I don't know. So pretty much the whole season, they only taught us like a double leg. And I was like, oh, this sucks. I'm not going to do a double leg for 3 months.
I know that. That's, it's hard. That's the thing that I like about wrestling versus jiu-jitsu is that coaching wrestling, I start with the basics. And sometimes jiu-jitsu, I'll go into a class and they're like, all right, we're learning an omoplata today. And I'm like, I just want to know an arm triangle and maybe a regular triangle and an arm bar. But some people love that. See, both arguments. Now, your fights are awesome, but I worry about you, man. I'm like, first the contender fight, they were like hyping you up, and you were getting murked out there. Let's be honest. And I was about to call like the child abuse hotline. I was like, child, not right. Call child services, and then you came back and won. And I was like going crazy. But then your next fight, I was at your next fight, and I go to my friend. I'm like, dude, this kid, like, he's awesome, but I don't know, man. I worry about him. And then the same thing happened, and this dude pounding on you. Is your strategy to like let the guy break his hand on your face and then you can tap him out?
No, my striking was like so much more primitive than it is now. And obviously the nerves of fighting in front of Dana White from like the shitty little casino shows. Because I'd only been a pro for 6 months when they offered me contender.
Wow.
So that was like a huge jump pretty quick. But yeah, I've definitely progressed a lot since then. And even my last fight where it looked like he caught me, like they weren't even like hard shots. It looked like he caught me with a big overhand, but he like just ended up hitting like my orbital. Like it wasn't even on the chin. So it's just because I got like the Bambi legs a little bit. So I get knocked around a little more than when I actually get hurt.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
You have heart. It's almost like a jiu-jitsu. If you were a video game and like heart was like 10, you'd have 10. Toughness 10, jiu-jitsu 10. Striking we gotta work on, right? Or
yeah, for sure.
If you're striking, is it really good and you just haven't shown it as much, or?
I think it's definitely a lot better than people know. I just like the last fight. I fought a little Swedish kickboxer. Like,
yeah, who was
I'm obvious.
It was tough
for sure.
Yeah.
National champion kickboxer for Sweden. So I didn't want to, I'm not going to go in there and
got a TKO against the guy.
Yeah,
it was awesome. I mean,
I'm not going to go in there and kickbox a kickboxer, necessarily. I'm going to do what I have to do to get it to the ground. I felt that if I had done the striking stuff that I was thinking about doing, it would kind of, drag it out and make it more maybe like a decision, which I didn't want to do, especially with a guy like that where he just needs the one shot to kind of drop you.
No, I mean, it was like a high school bully. It was like a World Star video, like a high school bully,
yeah.
the gamer kid, and then the gamer kid fucks him up. Like it was all your fights are like the two that I've seen so far are like the ending to a movie where the whole school comes and then you end up triumphing. But
yeah.
And I love it because I like you. You seem like a super sweet, nice kid, and like you're awesome. But I'm like, I mean, your coaches they have heart attacks? Did Jeff have a heart attack during your fights?
For sure. Usually I get like a little bit of like a lecture on what I, kind of fucked up afterwards. But, that's how it goes every time anyways.
Oh, my God. Who do you want to fight next?
I'm kind of just trying to work my way up. If they have any kind of older guys on their way out, I'd like to, see if it's a good fight. That's what I want. I want good fights. I'm trying to kind of take my time, work up the division super slow. Like, I don't want to just jump up and fight, you know, a top 10 guy right now. I definitely, like, they've been in UFC for so much longer, so I need to kind of develop more physically, and get my experience up, just kind of, you know, close that gap, because they've been in the UFC for, you know, like maybe 5-10 years by the time they get to the top 5. So I kind of want to close the number of fights between us, because these guys all have, you know, like 15-20 fights, and I have 10. So
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, but you have 10 fights, but you really have 80 fights, because your fights are just fucking like crazy. We have Mayhem here, by the way. We're talking to Chase Hooper. Now, you were a Pan Am champion. I'm not really that familiar with that, but how big of a deal is that?
So I guess the way to think about it would be that Nationals is like a step below Pans, because I think Pan American includes, you know, North and South America, so that gets all the Brazilians too. But I was like a blue belt. I was 16 at the time, and yeah, I went against some other tough kids, and I won my division, and actually got second place in the open weight. So
Wow, well, that's pretty damn awesome. We have Mayhem Miller here, who's also
Whoa. Mayhem's in the house, bro. And I know I'm late to the podcast, but guess what? I'm like making moves, baby. Our production value is about to go up, Adam Hunter. We're making it happen, baby.
Well,
Hey, and Chase Hooper is already in the house, prompt and on time, with the fro curly as ever. Oh my goodness, bro. Tell us about the hair. Like, did he ask you already? Like, why you
No,
got
not
that
yet.
loud ass mop top?
we're talking about his fights right now, but Chase, this is why you shouldn't do drugs, okay? So we're talking to Chase Hooper. I was asking about the Pan Ams. Mayhem, did you ever compete in the Pan Ams?
Fuck yeah, I won that shit one time, and I lost that shit another time. Sorry?
What did you win it at? He
I won it. I lost it at blue belt. I won it at purple belt. Yeah, I lost that blue belt real close though to like one of the best dudes ever. Who the fuck? Oh, Hamilo Barral.
Oh yeah.
By an advantage. What a tough son of a bitch. Like, it was like he like just knew the sport a little better than me. You know, I was doing MMA, you know, and when we called it NHB, I think. And I put the gi back on and was like, I can do this. But I realized that, like, those advantages count, don't they? I was like, advantage. I'm gonna flip over the score table right now. I don't know.
So is it winning the Pan Am, is that the equivalent to winning like the NCAAs in wrestling?
I guess, yeah. But I don't know. It's hard because there's so many different divisions, you know, with all the belts and all that. But yeah, I guess it's definitely a feather in my cap. I'm definitely proud of it.
And then now you're a brown belt?
Yeah.
How
yeah.
How close are you to becoming a black belt?
I actually am on the 4th stripe. So every 4 stripes is when you get promoted. So we'll see.
Coming up, baby. Trying to get a black belt, huh? Look, let me tell you, man. Watching your fights, I mean, just like the jiu-jitsu prowess is pretty freaking solid. Whoever's coaching you, who is that, by the way?
My coach is Jeff Hoagland. He was in the UFC for a bit.
Yeah,
Jeff. And where? Out of where?
Enumclaw, Washington. You probably never heard of it, unless you Googled Mr. Hands back in the day or something.
Oh boy.
What is Mr. Hands all about? You can't just skip by that. I don't know what the educate me.
Educate him, Chase.
All right, so let me just start off by saying it happened in Enumclaw, but the dude was from like Bellevue or something. So that's always the caveat that people from here throw in. I think he was like a Boeing executive or something. And, you know, he was making some, I guess, explicit tapes with a horse where he was on the receiving end.
Oh, thanks a lot for ruining my...
Oh, he made Violet cry, dude. She's too young for this, man.
Man, no wonder Ween Dog knew exactly what you were talking about. A man who's notorious for drinking horse jizz.
Yeah.
I mean, Joe Rogan didn't even force him to.
So Chase, after your last fight, you said that you wanted to visit M&M World. That was it. You get to go see.
Yeah. I didn't get to the night after. Vegas was just like too crazy. And everything was closing anyway because they held us. Like I had to stay the whole card. And so when we started walking around after, it was just like, you know, too many crazy drunk people that just watched me fight. So I kind of, you know, figured I'd take the more mellow approach. But I went to M&M World the next time I was in Vegas and had a good time there.
Oh my God, you weirdo. Yeah, have you been to the one in New York yet?
No, I've never been to New York.
Oh, all right. Get to the one in New York. I think you'll blow your apple straight off your head, dude.
In the UFC, send you like Chase Hooper M&Ms or something?
Yeah, they did actually. They sent them out to some of the like different media people too.
That's hilarious. Now I added some girl on Twitter today that I think is your girlfriend, right? You have a girlfriend?
Yeah, I do.
I'm pretty, because you were following her, and I think there were pictures of you guys together. How long you guys been together for?
Probably like 2.5 years at this point.
So she lives with you in the house?
Yeah.
Wow. Good for you. So she was your girlfriend back before, and now when you're going to be a big star, she's still going to be your girlfriend or your wife by then. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I only had one fight, like one pro fight by the time we started dating. So I was a little worried for the second one. I was like, oh, if I lose this, that's going to be, that's going to be a problem. Like, I'm going to just.
What do you mean a problem? Your old lady going to leave you if you lose one fight? That ain't no old lady, buddy. You need to assess you need to have a long conversation. I mean, look how many gigs Adam's lost and his wife ain't left him.
Yeah. How many? Since you're a big star now, how many girls have been hitting you up in your DMs and sending you topless pictures and stuff like that?
Not really any ladies hit me up. More dudes.
Nice. Yeah. How many dick pics have you collected? Because Ween Dog needs some.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. I try not to collect them, but if they're there, I guess.
All right. Well, turn off auto downloads. That's for sure. Hey,
you were at the prom 2 years ago?
I went to. I missed my own prom. I was actually at like a jiu-jitsu tournament or something, so I didn't go to mine. But I went to my girlfriend's actually.
Okay.
Nice.
That was last year, I think.
Yeah, awesome, bro. Welcome to the big leagues this quick, dude. Hey, yeah, I missed my prom to have my first pro fight. Yeah.
18 yet, or what? Hope it's 18.
What?
How old's your girlfriend?
Oh, she's 19.
Oh, she's 19. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Look at you.
Adam, why are you always trying to be creepy, bud?
I'm not trying to be creepy, but it was at a prom last year, and I'm thinking when I graduated, I was like, what, 16? I don't even think this girl's even legal. But
you graduated when you were 16 years old?
I don't know, 17, I think I graduated. So I'm just making sure that this kid's all right. I just want to look out, make sure that.
You're making sure he's not violating the Romeo and Juliet law statute that she went to her freshman prom? Come on, Adam. Let's not get weird.
Now, did your parents, you obviously didn't go to college. Did they support your decision not to go to college?
They kind of told me growing up that college wasn't really an option, like financially, I guess. So I never really thought of it. And I did like a year of running start when I was in high school, which is where you take college classes at like the community college or whatever. But I don't think you have to pay tuition, so it's pretty cheap. I did that though, so I could take all my classes online and just train as much as I wanted. But
yeah, I see, man. You got the martial arts bug, and you know what I mean. I had the same thing growing up. I had a remarkably similar style as you, remarkably similar haircut as you. Okay, and I hope for your sake you don't get this ugly. All right. But, let's talk about training, okay? Because obviously you're a very accomplished jiu-jitsu brown belt now, and high-level, jiu-jitsu, you showcase it in every fight. It's like, it turns into a jiu-jitsu seminar. What's your strategy, okay? Because they're gonna start throwing big boys at you, right? And what's your walking weight?
I walk around pretty big, like high 70s probably.
All right, and then what weight you got to make? 55?
45.
45. Okay, so you're fucking, maybe cut down on that M&Ms between fights, or you're gonna have to move up to the 55s. All right, but
no, for sure.
Okay, the big question is, what's going on with your striking? What's going on with your wrestling? Because you seem like really, you put all your skill points over there in jiu-jitsu, and now you're going to face competition, generalists, guys who can, they're not black belts, they're not Muay Thai world champions, but they can do all those different skills, and I really feel like, just being honest, and this is constructive criticism, is that your striking, it leaves something to be determined, and you often pull guard, you often pull guard instead of going for a takedown. What's going to happen when you run into a wrestler that can box? That's kind of, the opposite end, because you got pretty good kicks. You got good, you know how to use your range really well. But, what are you doing to improve these skills? You're young.
Yeah. So I'm doing a lot of cross training. My coach actually came from his gym in California is big on boxing. So we've been doing some cross training down there. And I've actually been getting my wrestling chops up a lot more, even in just the past 6 months. We've just kind of made a dedicated, hey, we're going to just focus on wrestling technique for MMA, on this day at this time. And, cause we have a lot of good wrestlers in the town actually. So we just kind of, have them all come in, and I'll just try to take them down. And I've been getting a lot better, doing more trips and throws, basic wrestling.
I can imagine you developing into outside trip kind of guy, inside trip kind of guy. You're really good at getting that body lock and then hula hooping around to the back.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic thing, and I know that's a lot from all your jiu-jitsu training. But I can see you really develop into because you're linked, bro. This is unbelievable at 145. How tall are you?
6'1" ish.
Jeez Louise, with that fro, you're 6'5". So,
yeah. It's 185 when it hits puberty, though. When it hits puberty, it's
it's over with, bro. Once your balls drop, you're game over. You're such a good fighter at such a young age, man, and it's really nice to see you going on right now, just out of nowhere.
His parents started him at 9 years old.
9 years old?
Yeah.
Listen, my dad was throwing beer bottles at me at 9 years old, and giving me push kicks to the chest. So I guess we have a similar career path there. What about as far as style-wise? Who are you morphing your style after? Who have you developed? Because you watch the sport for a long time since you were prepubescent. So
yeah,
who?
I think obviously more towards right now, at least with the striking, it looks more Diaz brothers-esque.
Bro, I was about to say, bro, if you do that Diaz style, right? A lot of sways, a lot of feints, and a lot of check hooks. Yeah. No. Because I already knew he was gonna say that, because I see it. But so what? So what are you gonna do to develop in the future now that things are going good?
I don't know. Just, keep training. I think that's all I need is just more time in. Cause my first pro fight was in maybe 2018, at the end of the year. So I haven't been pro for very long. So I just got to kind of develop, I think. And, when they offered me, the fight at 245, I was like, all right, I got to step up my level. And then I feel I get more when you think of yourself as a UFC fighter, you have to step up. same thing in jiu-jitsu. When you get promoted, you get a new belt. You're like, all right, I gotta be able to defend this. I gotta step up everything. I think that just helped out a lot mentally when you kind of decide that you need to do something, and then you just kind of start seeing yourself in that way.
I can tell, man. You got this guy. You're kind of like the Bizarro Sean O'Malley. I feel like you guys would be a good sitcom. He like gets tattoos and like does drugs, and you like video games. And I mean, do you do any kind? Do you smoke weed or do you drink or?
No, I just I don't know. My only vices are like caffeine and sugar. So.
Yeah, that's wild, man.
How did you become such a good kid? I mean, you honestly like you're like very mature for a 20-year-old. I feel like you're more mature than all of us combined. Especially,
I don't know.
How did you end up?
I guess I don't know. I was just kind of self-motivated to, a very competitive. Like I always wanted to win, or like do as well as I could. So if that was in school, just kind of acing the test or whatever. And then for me, like, if I got in trouble, I wouldn't be able to train. So I didn't want to get in trouble. So I just wanted to, keep going to the gym. And that kind of kept me out of everything.
That's why I didn't become a hockey player, because I fucked off in school and they took me out of hockey. But, they couldn't stop me from fighting on the street.
Now, where did you meet your girlfriend?
I met her at the gym, actually.
Oh, a little gym romance.
And who picked you up?
It was like a weird, I guess it was me. I definitely.
Nah, come on, bro. You pulled guard. She double-legged you. We know this story. All right.
That's pretty close. That's pretty close.
You went up to her and you're like, hey, you want to get some ice cream or
M&M's.
M&M's? Like, what was your pickup line?
It was like, I don't remember. It was like all my like gym buddies were like, just kind of peer pressuring me into like, they're like, oh, you got to do it today. You got to do it today. And then, I don't know. Something awkward came out of my mouth and,
awesome.
So did you guys
went from there.
Like, hey, you want to go on a date on Friday or something, or Saturday? You want to hang out? That was your thing?
Yeah. But like more awkward than that.
And then where was your first date?
Let's see. I think, it was like Halloween. So we went to a haunted house.
Nice.
What did you dress up as? Ronald McDonald?
No, didn't. I went as myself.
Hell yeah.
No costume
Badass
necessary.
UFC fighter. That's exactly the costume.
He wasn't even a pro back then.
You know what? He was on his way.
By the way, I love what you and Ben Askren have. How you keep calling Ben your dad.
Yeah.
That video with like Masvidal was hilarious because he really felt bad for a second. I think he really thought that was your dad.
Yeah, that was 100% like candid from Masvidal. We didn't give time to like say anything about it, so yeah, that was all him.
Yeah, wait, you're doing like these wild videos, right? Like talk about those, because I'm sure they're out there, and I've seen a few, and I don't even look at the internet. So like, what did they have you do, and what have you been doing online?
I'm kind of, like for my last fight before UFC, they actually sent a couple guys from Fight Pass down, and we did like, because the promoter set up like a ton of stuff for us to do, and then they set up some more stuff to kind of get some film out. And so I kind of met up with these Fight Pass guys. They were super chill, kind of became buddies and stuff. So they were just like, hey, fuck it. Well, you want to come out to Vegas and we'll try to film some more shit? Or like, I would happen to be out there and they'd like come up with this stuff. And it just kind of gradually progressed from there. Because that was kind of what they were supposed to do at the time was, keep trying to help build me up. Because I guess I did pretty well in Fight Pass number-wise. So it was in their best interest too, to keep putting out content for Fight Pass and to keep helping me out. So it's pretty cool. And we just kind of progressed from there.
But specifically, because I saw the one, the Masvidal thing. That was funny. But what else would you do? Remind me.
All right. So they had me come out for 246, which was where the Masvidal thing happened. And they let me, I guess, be like the correspondent for Fight Pass and just interview all these other fighters on the card. I think I talked to like Anthony Pettis, Roxanne Modafferi. I don't know how you say her last name.
Nailed it.
And then a couple other people. And then, yeah, we were able to talk to Masvidal there, and that kind of took off. So then that kind of got everything else rolling. And then I don't know what else we did between that, and I think that might have been it, since we did like the NASCAR stuff. Because they have the
okay,
M&M car.
What was that NASCAR thing, bro? What did you do over there?
They hit me up. They're like, "Hey, NASCAR's coming to Vegas. We want to try to hook you up with Kyle Busch." I didn't really know that much about NASCAR before, but he drives the M&M car, so they wanted to try to set something up. And we just kind of. Yeah, he was kind of a dick, to be honest.
Oh, awesome. Well, that makes sense. They can't all be nice guys.
No, like I went up to go. He actually made us take the clip down, but I went up to go talk to him. I was like, "Hey, can I talk to you for a second?" And he was like, "No," just like a super dick, and just walked away. Like, didn't even look at me. I was like, "All right."
UFC cameras and stuff around you. I mean, why would he?
Yeah.
Nah, that was the
no. They were kind of like back there. I don't think you could see him, but I don't know. He just
but listen, man. Look,
he's kind of known for that.
Look. You can't just come up and talk to me, all right? You got to talk to my agent, Adam Hunter, first, all right? And then maybe he'll make the introduction, maybe. So that your producer should have got on that, because just like if you walked up to me, your wild lanky ass, and just like started talking to me, I didn't know who you were, I'd be like, oh!
I'm sure you would have been very nice to him. Listen, Chase, it was an honor having you on. Do you have another fight in the books or no?
I do, but I'm kind of seeing what's happening with the Corona stuff. That's kind of throwing a wrench into everything.
What the fight is, or no?
So, what's up?
Tell us who it is against.
Oh, I don't think I can say anything yet. I think they'd get pissed.
You didn't sign yet?
No, I'm signed to be. I was supposed to be on the San Diego card, which would have been nice.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll end up fighting on Dana's private island.
Yeah.
That'd be sweet.
Well, listen, keep doing what you're doing, man. Thanks for the podcast. Love to have you back on.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Peace, dude.
Hey, bro. God bless. Hey, man, that kid is fucking cool, man. I don't know what the hell he's going to do. He's going to be a damn star, It's really interesting time to be a martial artist, because, this coronavirus got us all sitting at home and bubbling. I'm sitting on both thumbs right now. And I'm just like, I can't wait to see that guy fight again.
He's 20, though.
That's what I'm saying. He's going to keep cranking them out. Like, he's got a long career ahead of him, and we're, like, watching the beginnings of it. And that's a beautiful thing, man. It's rare. I feel like we're the only show. I feel like we're pretty much the best show on the internet.
I agree.
Yeah.
But also,
because we're getting everybody – we're getting before they were stars.
And then we get Don Fry when he's on the hospital bed. So we get
and we get Don Fry on death's doorstep, his fucking back. And then I was real scared the first time he was on the show. He was talking about a third. Then he comes on the show again and just fucking roasts me. What a genius! I love that guy.
Again after that show, he wants to come back on this week.
Oh God, no! I can only take so much abuse out of Hunter.
I can't tell that guy no. How can I tell him no?
That's true.
I mean,
all right, fine.
I mean, how could I tell a guy like that no? In anything,
you can't.
If he was like your wife, I'd say no. But other than that, there's really nothing else I would say no to that guy for.
I would just like to point out that Violet, that little cute little baby. Hi, Violet. Hi, Violet. She's watching me, bro. Hi, Violet. Hi, Violet.
It was funny. We were watching your intro, and she went, May May.
No. Nice, bro. That's what I'm talking about. This baby's like got name recognition. That's all I want. Yo, Wu-Tang is for the babies.
Well, here, funny. So one time I was interviewing Ponzinibbio, who doesn't speak English that well, who's like one of the best. That's May May. He's one of the best fighters. So I was talking to him, and she was in the other room crying, and had Eve Edwards here. So I was like, Eve, change my kid's diaper, please, and he's like, no problem. So I go, can you change the diaper? So he goes, and we have a baby cam in the room. So I get a text from my wife going, who has our baby right now?
Oh my God.
Then I looked and found like the picture of Eve with blood everywhere. Like,
nice.
I was like, this guy.
It's a very strange family that we have. You know what I mean? Goes across racial, ethnic, and transgender lines.
There's a transgender that loves our show. You know what I'm talking about, Joe?
Bro, I don't think you're supposed to say a transgender. Like, I feel like that's like demeaning.
What do I say? A woman who is a transgender?
No, like
a man. I don't even want to start.
Hey, fuck that, you fucking Trump supporter. Okay, we're cool with the LGBTQ LMNOP.
100%, dude.
Now, by the way, so we were talking about the island. So the latest news is that Dana White is securing a private island today to have the UFC 249, and then every week have another UFC on this island. What? Now, you have to pee? Did you pee? You pee?
Come on, man. Potty training.
So
put her on the toilet, bro.
A lot of people are upset about this. You need a diaper? Your diaper? Okay.
Upset about this. I don't know why.
Take it from here.
All right. Look.
Take it away, Mayhem. I'm all ears.
First of all, calm down, Wayne, okay? Okay. Put your bottle of lube away now that me and you are alone. All right? So, look, the whole thing about the private island is, I mean, I hate to say I told you so, but this is exactly what I said, like, I don't know, 3 months ago. I said, okay, we're going to take a Sheik's pleasure yacht out to a private island, and now it's happening. So, told you so. And I don't know why anybody would really get mad, because all the fighters are going to want to be there. And it's not like anyone else has a job right now. I don't even know how they're going to sell a pay-per-view with the entire country, sitting on their hands and waiting for this corona nightmare to end.
Now, do you have any doubts at all that the fight is going to get canceled or the whole card is going to get moved back? Because I still, deep down, don't think that UFC 249 is going to happen when they say it's going to happen. What do you think about that?
Well, yeah, I mean, look, who knows? Like, who knows? Because the reality of the situation is the government's getting involved. And I doubt that this island is not in America. I mean, where is it going to be? Lesbos? I don't understand where they're going to cart everybody. And on top of that, you're going to have to house all the fighters in some type of hotel. We can't set up like refugee tents. You know what I mean? I don't think Tony Ferguson is going to sit outside in a refugee tent, a triage tent to not get coronavirus. It's just, I don't know. It could be very like irresponsible.
Fire festival. It's like UFC Fire Festival. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly right. Yeah. That's the real danger. Is Adam back from changing the baby already?
The MMA media is very upset about it. They're saying like Luke Thomas is irresponsible, this and that. Whereas other people, I'm like, look, there's nothing else going on. If the fighters agree to do it and they all want to make money, I mean, I went to the Laugh Factory last week for a lot less than what people are doing because people needed entertainment and because I wanted to do it, and I'm taking the risk. If people
it's one of those things, Adam. That if it actually goes off without a hitch, right, and then 2 weeks after that everybody's still healthy, then look, he's the hero. But on the off chance that somebody comes in there with the sniffles, right, and gives everybody coronavirus,
right,
and everyone will get it. I don't know. Look, I don't know if you've ever been backstage, like in the locker rooms, but I mean, regardless of any infection, viral or otherwise, it fucking stinks, and it's like smells like body odor, and it's just Stipe Miocic spitting in the corner. It's just the reality of the fight sport is kind of dirty. If you ever been to an old school boxing gym, you see that disgusting can that's just full of boogers and spit, because if you're fighting, then you're going to slobber and you're going to, mucus. And you're going to fart.
And if if everyone gets it and then gives it to other people, then it's like, what a disaster, right?
And then Donald Trump will come on TV calling it the ultimate fighting disease.
So if you, Mayhem, were given a chance right now to fight in it, right? Let's say you were.
Yeah, probably would, but I'm dumb. I'm dumb as an onion, allegedly, because here's the thing: is that I'm more afraid of me like getting it, being asymptomatic, and then giving it to some poor guy who's like older and dies. I got friends that are older. I really respect the older generation. So I would hate to be directly responsible or even indirectly responsible for doing that. And it's just a real possibility.
So you think they should not have it?
Man, fuck it. Yeah, have it.
That's what that's kind of where I'm at. I mean, I think if people know the risk and they know and they're responsible about it, like, and plus these are like, I know anyone can get the coronavirus, but if you're in really good shape and you're healthy, it's going to be harder to get it. Your body can fight it off better. These are the best fighters in the world, the best athletes in the world. It's not like Bellator where everyone's 90, so you're kind of like assuming the risk. Now, that being said, I could see both sides, but I'm going to order it. I'm going to support it. So is it one of those things where if you don't like it, don't order it?
Yeah, I guess. But the MMA world, we're real hungry for some content right now. And I mean, like, you can tell that by how many new followers we got. Yeah. Because everybody wants to talk about some MMA because we don't got any MMA right now, and what? They're saying April what? 15th?
18th. On an island.
April 18th.
First they were saying it was going to be
on an island.
They're saying Tachi Palace because the Indian reservation or Native American reservation, that was going to be it. But now they're saying it's going to be at an island. It's like going to be like UFC Island.
Yeah, that's a bad look to go to the Tachi Palace, I mean, what are they going to do? Give them free blankets?
It's like first we give them smallpox, right? Now we're going to give them corona. But yeah, let's say that I didn't know there was a UFC Island. So what do you do like on UFC Island? You have a week to like build an island and build a thing.
Yeah, just like the Fire Festival, exactly like the Fire Festival. It's going to be a disaster if they go through with it. I think they should just scrap the main event. They should scrap Tony versus Gaethje. I heard that Rosenstrike versus Ngannou was moved to this card. Put that as the main event.
Tyler's going to be in here in 10 minutes and give us the whole rundown.
Okay.
But I mean, at the same time, like, it is. Are they going to be like? It's going to be like on a moat. Are there going to be sharks surrounding it? I mean,
that'd be badass. There's
all kinds of things going on at UFC. They should have just had it on the hematoma on Joanna's head because that was pretty much big enough.
Yeah.
I mean, just had it there. Is Nate Diaz going to swim to the island? I mean, what is Clay Guida? Did he start running? I mean, what's going on? Is Ariel?
No, they're going to get Clay Guida to build all the shelters for everybody to sleep in that night, right?
They're going to have
give Vanderlei as some antibodies to like fight off all the coronavirus. We're just going to have a good old UFC Island time.
But tell me, is that now, what's his name? Gaethje says, I'm scared as hell. I'm also excited. I mean, people are into it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
As long as the fighters pull up on jet skis, I feel like I'll feel like I got my money's worth.
Like the dude in the Tiger King, the big giant 400-pound dude in the Tiger King who's riding a jet ski all the time. Hell yeah.
They're gonna have ring girls like bikinis. Like, this is just the whole thing is gonna be. Who's gonna commentate on it? Like, who do you think's gonna?
I heard Rogan's in.
No, Joe Rogan, like robotic Joe Rogan, gonna send a drone, a humanoid shaped drone that from DARPA Research Center is just gonna have Joe Rogan's head attached to it, and like, you know what I mean? He's gonna knockout.
And then Ariel Helwani is going to have his nose. He's actually going to be in California, but his nose is going to extend to the island. So he'll be
my God.
It's all over. It's all over. It's all over.
I like it. I mean, it's exciting. I told my wife, she's like, that's horrible, but pretty badass. She's like, you gotta like respect the fact that like the whole world's like, everyone's shut down and Dana opens up an island, just UFC island.
Brilliant marketing strategy. And if it doesn't happen, we still all yacked about it. Remember that time that we're gonna have Fire Festival, but UFC?
Like Ja Rule is gonna be like the announcer.
It's murder. That's like a solid Ja Rule impression. I mean, you know, say what you want about my impressions, but I got a Ja Rule one.
Dude, the actual card is actually a good card. CB Gold yesterday, who I gave him like the biggest intro, has known everything, didn't even know one fight on the card.
Idiot. Hey, you know what? Hey, are we having a porn star on the show today?
Yes, but it was good seeing CB. We have two fighters. We have Sadiq Yusuf, who is, I think he's 8-1 or 9-1. He just beat Andre Feely, moving up really quick. This kid is amazing at striking, and he's like the next level. And then we also have Jessie Jane, who is at one point was the biggest porn star in the world. She's killing it. And yeah, so I'm just waiting for Tyler Smith to call in 3 seconds. But I mean, UFC, like all the hoop. I mean, how could you not talk about anything?
What's the matter, boo-boo? What's the matter, little boo-boo?
He wants the water me to open it, right? If I open it, it's going everywhere, right? So
nice. Let's see it, bro. Let's see it. If she's going to be on the show, let her be on the show, okay? Put her on your lap. Yeah, there you go. Give her the water.
We'll just
let's see. I think, you know what? You don't have faith in your daughter. I think that she can handle this.
No, this is a
Open the water for her. Open the water for her.
It's a fake cry. This is a wine, not a real cry.
Give her the water.
No, she's going to spill it everywhere.
Bro, I know, but like, come on, it's content.
No, it's not content, Mayhem. That's how you get in trouble, okay?
What do you mean, bro? Like, just move the laptop out of the way. Look, you better give her that water or she is going to domestically abuse you.
But first of all, that's what happens. Just because something's entertaining, Mayhem, does not mean you should do it. Like, if I give her the water and she splashes it, yes, we'll all get a laugh. But now, every time I have a water, she's going to want to splash it everywhere. And what happens? I splash it.
Okay, but you don't laugh, and me and Ween will laugh quietly.
Yes.
Okay, you ready?
There's water everywhere, and then the fucking dog trips, and my wife breaks her neck. Okay.
Wait a minute. I thought that your rabid Chihuahua was not allowed in the house anymore.
No, we that lasted 3 hours.
Oh my god. Hey guys, speaking of splashing, I gotta go take a shit. I'll be right back.
All right. Wait, Tyler's here.
Thanks a lot, Ween.
Do you want to switch out?
Yeah, switch out with Tyler. You guys.
All right, boys. Have a good one. I'll be back tomorrow. Oh man, it's coming out right now. Sorry, guys.
What is wrong with this show, man? The best show on the internet. MMA Roasted.
I told you this is my kids.
There you go.
So this baby.
Tyler, please save the show. Tell us that you know the card.
All right,
I do know the card.
Tyler, give us some MMA news.
Let's get some MMA news. All right, so the card has been announced. It's a lot of the same fights. Tony Ferguson, Gaethje, obviously, we know my feelings about that.
Oh, yeah.
Jessica Andrade, Rose Namajunas, we talked about yesterday. Going to be a banger. I got Rose, personally. Greg Hardy and Jorgen De Castro.
Wow.
Whoa. Wait, who is that guy again?
Greg Hardy's the guy that was in the NFL. He was a star. He got kicked out. Had some domestic violence issues. That really isn't that funny.
This dude is like just a madman, though. Like, I just was laughing because I'm remembering who that Hardy guy is. He's just a big meat truck.
They were calling him.
Well, it's so weird though too.
Yes, he was a football player, but then he got into the UFC, and people were upset about that. First fight, he was winning, then he started losing, and then he kicked the guy head kick when the guy was on the ground. He got disqualified for that, like a soccer kick.
That's bad, dude.
Second fight he used his inhaler. All of a sudden had an inhaler, like he's like a prop fighter now.
In the corner, dude.
Third fight against a Russian went really well for him. He lost, but it was against a guy that was like 3 times the level that he is at, and he held his own. Didn't win.
Nice.
Hold on.
That loss.
I'm gonna switch my wife.
Whoa. Is that robot Joe Rogan? We can't understand you.
Tyler, you
The
here?
Wi-Fi was dropping out.
No, yeah, I had to switch we have like 3 networks in the house, and one of them is shit. So
Tyler, who's the guy he's fighting? Because I heard that guy's really good.
Yorgan De Castro. I don't really know much about Yorgan De Castro. He was supposed to fight Greg Hardy on the March 28th card. Obviously, that got pushed back. Yeah. He beat Justin Tafa in his last fight.
Okay.
So I don't know.
What's his record?
He's 6-0.
Okay.
Where is he from? Jorgen. What the hell is that? You're goddamn
De Castro, the Mad Titan. I don't know.
I think he's really good, actually. I think they were saying that Hardy's is a tough fight for Hardy, but
all right.
Should be.
I think
Hopefully
Hardy.
it is.
I think MMA is a really good sport for Hardy because, well, you know, he's an amazing athlete. But from what I hear, like, I wouldn't say football can't, but it seemed like he had a lot of distractions. Whereas MMA, he's so far behind, but he's so good that Dean Thomas, like,
he has to work.
Very coachable, really nice.
The thing that I think we're gonna start seeing with like athletes coming from different sports, these guys that make it to a college level or maybe even go pro, is that they're so athletic and they're talented, but they're coachable. Like, that's the reason they got to that level, is because they're coachable. So they go into an MMA gym and they're just going to absorb everything that guy is saying.
Sometimes. I've had it both ways. I've had some guys that are like real good football players, but then they like are so stuck in their ways that it's difficult. You know, they like hold their hands wrong. You know, but other guys, you know, particularly running backs. I've coached running backs who, like, man, I can teach them how to kick real quick. They know how to change their hips because it's a different skill set. Do we know what position Hardy played? Was he like
a linebacker? I think.
Yeah. He seems like that.
He knows how to move. That's
exactly
the guy that's that big that can move that fast and is that explosive. It's just like anything he hits you with is going to be terrifying.
It's funny this card because I feel like everything he does is controversial, and now he's on this card too.
Yeah, of course.
It's like, of course, he's on this card, you know. So who else is on the card?
This is the sleeper banger of the night. I think is Vicente Luque and Nico Price.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nico Price though.
Nico Price is the dude. He won with hammer fist from the bottom.
Oh,
when he hooked the dude's head and he just
yeah.
Oh, so
I really like this.
And then he knocked out James Vick with an up kick in the next fight.
Like one of like 2 up kicks to ever land in the UFC. Yeah. You know, that's interesting that he's gotten this jiu-jitsu skill, because that's a jiu-jitsu skill to be able to like attack from the bottom, and you see it very rarely.
Realize where you are, yeah.
Yep, and you see like Tony Ferguson is like, I mean, the king of elbows from the bottom, you know, but this guy Nico is like, oh my God, terrifying from, you know, the angles that he can smash a hammer fist at. That's really impressive. Well,
like he does it like he's setting up to go for a knee bar or some leg lock entry, and he just leaves his foot up there like, oh shit.
You know, I had a couple fights like I remember this one. Hey Tyler, the one where, you know how you like reach over the guy from your guard to get like a shoulder lock?
Yeah.
Like, so I would hold the guy's wrist and reach over like I was gonna get a shoulder lock, but then like when he reacted and like postured up, I would like fall back and like karate elbow the guy backwards. And that was like my favorite one. I swole my elbow up real bad one time doing that, but like I got him good, you know, and that definitely, I remember that changed the course of the fight a little bit because he wasn't ready for that, you know.
I mean, there's so many positions from the bottom that you can inflict damage like easily.
Yeah. Well, the big thing, the problem is that during the current rule set,
you're stuck at the bottom.
You're stuck in the bottom, and not only that is that everybody's slimy and there's no grip. There's no, you know, you're not wearing a jacket, a shirt, like anything to absorb the sweat, and that, you know, it makes for a different style. When you guys are all
skill set for sure.
Yeah, when you're all
And
greased
gloves.
up, you know.
Yeah, Nico's a really nice guy too. He trains out in Naples, Florida, which is right by Top Team and the Black Zillions. But he has his own camp. He's like, he doesn't want to go to those super camps. He said he tried it, didn't like it. He'd rather be like the big guy in a small camp than.
There's something to be said about that. You know, when you're like, you know, when you've got all the resources centered around you, it's a lot different. You know, it's a lot better. You can develop a lot better, and I think that's part of the reason. Where our last guest, Chase Hooper, I think that's part of the reason he's progressed so fast is because he's had like, you know, he's done it since he was a little kid, but he's also had, you know, a focused camp on him, not just, you know, he's part of a bigger, he's not just a cog in the machine.
Were you better when you had your own camp around you, or when you were having like rain or?
Well, you know, like I could talk a lot of bad stuff about like my old management, but the reality is that they did a good job of making sure that it was Mayhem centric when I came to the room. Like they did, like sometimes at rain, I would just go in the cage, and then they would just send everyone to fight me, and I'm just like, yeah, like this is my day, and that's kind of how it has to go. A good synergistic relationship is the dude who has the fight coming up, you focus on him. And then maybe that, you know, it's possible to get that at Black Zillions or America Top Team. But I'm guessing that, you know, he tried to go there and realized that, well, okay,
The
I
focus
can't have
is always on the same guys.
Yeah, I can't,
No
yeah.
matter who's fighting.
Your ACL, what, 4 times, 5 times?
Yeah, something like that. Like, you know, I did the cadaver ligaments and my body rejected that shit. So I had to like do other ones. It's a hard deal.
During fights or during
both. You know. Well, once I remember one time Sogaju just, man, he just did this outside judo trip to everybody and would fall on everyone's knee, and he just like claimed everybody's ACL that way. Like pretty much like Team Quest was just ACL-less because this guy didn't want to do another takedown.
Did you guys flip out on him and tell him, dude, what the fuck? You're killing everyone's ACL?
Yeah, we did, but like, you know, it's like talking to a stone.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Say the stone took you.
I mean, so yeah, I mean, a lot of people, I wonder, I mean, look, the thing about the UFC is going to be the only game in town. The only game.
Yep.
You know?
Dana's saying he wants to put on a fight every week.
Bro, listen, no, I already told you guys yesterday that I can throw a couple fights on this riverboat. I'm telling you. You think I'm laughing?
Real talk.
I ain't laughing, bro. Listen, if there are 2 people who want to fight, they got a name, I will sign them to my riverboat fight.
Dude, I watched that press conference last night again. I got a little high. I took some weed, and then I
took weed.
Yeah, I took some weed. That's how big of a pot I am. I took weed, and then I was crying, laughing. I mean, like I was crying.
Yeah. If that doesn't if we don't get some clips out of that press conference, I don't see how this show survives, because like this is the best show on the internet. So obviously we had the best press conference on the internet. But meanwhile, everybody else is hiding from Corona. We're having press conferences over here.
On fights that aren't even signed.
The fight has been signed?
No, I'm saying we're having press conferences of fights that haven't even been made yet. That's how.
Listen, we were just seeing if there's enough hype there to throw the damn fight. You know what I'm saying? Gambino versus Starr, I think could be a hit.
Dude, I was crying. It's like there was so much other shit going on during the press conference that like I was missing while I was there because I was trying to focus on them. But there was all kinds of just things that were said, and like you hyping it up and putting on sunglasses and a jacket for some reason.
Oh, listen, if we're gonna have a press conference, I'm gonna dress up for it. Okay, don't you know? You guys can come out. You guys can half step into the press conference, but look, when we have a press conference next time, everybody needs to have their questions ready. Okay, We need to fire at it. And look, we might need to mute some of these people because, you know, Sheena Starr just couldn't keep it in. I think that Diet Dr. Pepper was affecting her brain. She just couldn't like calm down for like a half a minute for her opponent to say something. And you know, that's very unprofessional. And that's not going to stand in my house.
The whole thing was like, first the girl says, first of all, you're 0-2. She's like, well, yeah, you're 1-49 or something. And then you lost 49 fights in a row. And then she goes, yeah, well, you're married, but that's not even your real last name. And then she goes, you said, oh, common law. I mean, like I was crying laughing at how ridiculous that was. And my wife doesn't get it. She's like, why are you laughing? You're watching there. I go, you don't understand.
It's way different when you're not there. And I just imagine how many people are at home smoking a fat joint to this and going, oh my God, these dudes are insane. And these women are even crazier. You know, I'm just so happy to be a part of it, bro. I like every day, I thank the Lord.
I feel like we should have a press conference next time in an actual trailer. Like we should get like a double wide or something.
No. Well, one of our guests was definitely in a trailer.
Yeah.
The other one was like sitting by an exposed outlet was definitely a fire hazard.
And some people hit me up saying that like that girl Gambino robbed them of money. That like
I wouldn't doubt it, bro. She's a straight gangster. She don't give a fuck. I think that listen, they ripped off the Monopoly game. I know they did. I watched the whole documentary. So, you know, she can claim what she wants. But, you know, the reality is she's a G.
Yeah, that was insane.
Yeah.
That was insane.
Hey, man, I got something to announce, bro.
Announce.
MayhemMartialArts.com T-shirts are in, baby. Woo! I got one coming in for you guys. What size you need?
Me, I'm not XL.
XL.
I like wearing stuff big, you know. By the way, I started doing this
early 90s hip hop. You got Timberlands to go with it too?
Yeah. I started doing a 30-minute boxing training session. HIIT Gym, HIIT. Have you ever did this? And because I have a heavy bag in my garage, and it's like, you know, 1.5 minute just straight punches, and then 30 seconds, whatever, and then it's different combos up to 10 rounds. Got a good sweat going. And I was like, man, this is great. I got it on YouTube, but there's only like 3 of them.
Yeah.
Classes.
Dude, just put on some house music and punch to the beat. That's all that is.
No, it was great. But I'm saying is that Mayhem, you should do something like that because
I'm working on it, bud. Don't you worry. I just got a bunch of equipment. That's why I said at the top of the show that our production value is about to go up because, you know, I had all this stuff in storage, but, you know, I wasn't prepared to bust it out. Now, okay, I'm going to have a few things on MayhemMartialArts.com, some exclusive videos, and I'm going to put some stuff here on MMA Roasted for you, for your wife, for everybody to really feel the martial arts flowing through us during this time of need.
And Tyler, you're a brown belt. You're a teacher. There, like for me, who I want to get into jiu-jitsu, right? Is there? And I have a mat in the backyard. Is there an instructional thing that you could put out? Like,
I'm going to be doing classes. I don't know. It's going to be a Zoom invite, so I don't know if we can make one like open to the public. But on Saturday mornings, like a solo jiu-jitsu drills class, I guess. It's just going to be like warm up, like a traditional warm up, and then movement. You know, like walking step by step, like through basically shadowing a technique, like takedowns or knee slices or whatever passes, but like breaking down the actual movement of my hips and my knees and my feet and everything.
That'd be kind of cool because I felt so much better after I did that workout. I'm telling you, like it was like it changed my whole outlook. I know it's hard to say, but it really does. Like you're just like, wow, I feel like I'm physically in a better place and mentally in a better place. I'll tell you who's probably killing it right now is Peloton. Because I used to watch the classes and they would have like 10,000 people. Now they have like 50,000 people in these classes. So
yeah, I've definitely seen a lot more people exercising outside. A lot more people walking, running, riding their bikes. Like it's pretty busy around my house.
We're gonna turn into a nation of freaking triathletes and shadow boxers because we can't hang out. We can't hang out with each other.
So
nightmare.
Yeah, so Jessie Jane is going to come on, but she has to push it a couple minutes, she said.
push it real good.
So I met Jesse. I'll save it for her. All right.
Oh my goodness.
All right. So also on this card, by the way, Rosenstruik against Ngannou.
Dude, Rosenstruik and Ngannou. And Jeremy Stevens, Calvin Cotter.
Hold on. Let's talk about Rosenstruik and Ngannou. So, so I know. So Ngannou was a guy that was knocking out everybody with like jabs. I think he started training in France by himself and like from Africa, but then made to the U.S. and people were saying how good he was with how little he knew, and he was murdering people. I mean, knocked out Cain Velasquez in 20 seconds. Knocked out this guy.
Knocked out Alex or Overeem.
Then he ran into Overeem's.
Sad.
Then he ran into Stipe Miocic. And Miocic just took him down and beat on him. Like, figured out, like, this guy's got no takedown defense. Since then, he had a horrible fight against the Black. But his last couple fights, he's been knocking people out left and right.
Wait, he had a horrible fight against who? You dropped out.
Black Beast.
The Black Beast.
Oh, yeah.
Stood at each other. It was one of those weird fights that everyone's like.
It was like Izzy and Romero, part 1.
Oh, worse in some ways.
That's the heavyweight.
But now he's won his last couple fights, and he's one of these dudes that he knocked out Curtis Blades twice. That if he hits you, you're going to sleep. Like, I met him at my comedy show. Like, I stood next to Heath Herring and Josh Barnett and Frank Mir, all big guys, but you got some fat on them. You know, they're big guys, but they're, you know, this dude must have 6% body fat. I mean. I've never seen.
He's a freak, dude. He's a genetic freak.
Huge guy. And I know John Wood was holding the pads for him. John Wood one day walks in with like a cast, and I go, "What happened?" He's like holding the pads for Ngannou.
That makes sense, you know, because like I got like a 55-pounder that like at first he, you know, his kicks were pretty good, but now like the dude lays into my forearms. You know, like we've got his kicks tuned up that like, bro, he'll hurt somebody at his weight class. And Ngannou, that big beast, like, oh my goodness, taking a good one to the foot. You better have some serious Muay Thai pads, bro, because that guy must lay into people. You know, you see it on the highlights. This guy just has an amazing, like power to weight ratio.
Yeah.
You know, I'd be interested to see like how he's like going to develop over there. What is he at? Extreme Couture or
that Syndicate? Then he left.
Syndicate.
And he's one of those dudes that I talk to his training partners, and nobody wants to train with him. Like,
yeah, it's difficult when a guy has that much power. It's hard. It's hard.
Like, hey, they all avoid eye contact, and these guys are like ranked 3rd and 4th in the world, and they're avoiding eye contact because they said he has one speed too. He doesn't know how to go light. Now, do you think that's an ego thing, or just he doesn't know his own body, or what do you think? Like a guy like Hector Lombard and Ngannou, those guys that are notorious for going hard and sparring. Is it a pride thing, or
no? I think it just could be like.
It could be a mix. There could
be a discipline thing. It's like he doesn't really realize how to like turn it down to training speed.
Right.
You know, there's different, and on top of that, he might be afraid.
That he
might be afraid to not. Yeah, he might be afraid to go to like a lower speed because it's going to affect him in his performances. You know, maybe that's that. Pretty much, it's like you got to ask him, and like I'm sure he don't mean to knock you the fuck out in practice, but oops.
But you're training with a guy like that, right? Because I train with guys like that sometimes where they go, hey, the instructor will say, and this is like I'm talking like a mom and like a regular class. It's not even a professional class. I'll say, listen, you know, guys, if someone's going too hard, tell them to turn it down a little bit, or tell them to take it down a notch. But you don't want to be the guy to tell them to take it down a notch because you feel like a pussy doing that in some ways.
Well, look, I always sparred everybody. And I would never do the avoid eye contact thing. And like, I just would go as hard as they would go, you know, and that's just the reality of the situation. And really, I think that there should be a day dedicated to going hard, you know, like maybe like one time a month.
But did you ever tell a guy in practice, hey man, will you turn it down a little bit?
like, yeah, dummies that like don't know what they're doing, and I could fucking hurt them. But if the guy's like a professional level, you know, nah, I never told him to turn it down. Like, it's a special day, you know.
How are you?
Yeah, kind of the same boat. I usually go to the level that people are going. So, like, usually they're asking me to turn it down. Because they don't know, like, a lot of times, especially like you're saying in a mom and pop, is like they don't know that they're throwing hard. They think they're throwing light, but they don't know because they're so new. So they'll, like, kick the shit out of your leg, and then you give them one back, and they're like, hey, turn it down. You're like, you just
well, like, hey, bud, you just did
like,
that same thing.
Like, that's how it works.
Classic. Yeah.
Now, with the mayhem with boxing, like, knowing that if it went to the ground, you would murder people, but you're going with, let's say, a better boxer than you who's
but I'm like a mixed martial artist. You know what I mean? Like, as I progressed, I, like, realized, like, that there's different strategies to employ against guys who are good at different things. And if we're only doing boxing, and the guy's a better boxer, then guess what? I'll tie him up and then punch off the break. And then tie him up and punch off the break.
McCorkle was telling me that McCorkle would say he would go with he hated going with boxers because they would go really hard on him, and he knew if it was a fight, he would beat the shit out of him. But they were just doing boxing. So
but that's a bad mentality.
Turn it into not boxing. Like, you can use your wrestling in boxing. You know, like, it's like instead of boxing them because they're a better boxer, you stick your head under their chin and you tie them up and then push them into the corner, and then on the break you throw a couple punches. So you make it like
right.
You make it your game.
Jason, you saying that was a bad mentality?
Oh yeah, it's a bad mentality to be like, oh, I wish I could take you down right now, because it's the same as like, all right, if we're doing situational drills in wrestling, and one guy has a single leg, you know what I mean? It's stupid to go, oh, you would never get me in a single leg. What? Like, come on. No, we're doing situations. We're doing, okay, we're just boxing. That way we can improve on just boxing. MMA is all inclusive. You have to be able to do everything. So learning boxing is a key component. Learning kickboxing, key component. How to wrestle, key component. How to do jiu-jitsu, key component. So, you can't be like, oh, man, you would have never got me in an omoplata if I could punch you in the face. You won't improve.
I mean, not to put down Askren. I love Askren. But you think that was like sometimes like the Achilles heel of certain guys, that they're so good at one thing, they know they can rely on it, so they don't develop the other stuff?
Did you hear me talk to Chase Hooper about how he's going to improve his overall game? And I just gave him constructive criticism that his kickboxing not up to the high level yet.
It's funny because
his wrestling.
You listen to the podcast, I say the exact same thing a minute before you.
Oh, really?
On, so.
I wasn't even on there. Well, I'm glad. You know what? Because we both have that coach mentality. We're not saying it to like go down on him. We're not. We're saying it because we really want to see this guy improve. He's young and he's great at jiu-jitsu, but the other areas of the game are very important.
Yeah, no, it's true. But it's crazy though. Like, I wonder how Gordon Ryan's gonna do. If Gordon Ryan actually does MMA, because he's so dominant in jiu-jitsu, if what's gonna happen with the striking element.
It'll be interesting.
I mean, I remember when Damian Maia was running through everybody quickly. I mean, Chael, this one, that one. Remember Nate Marquardt just fucking ended that train real quick.
Yeah.
It was just that one. That was insane. But I was like, wow, that was it goes to show you can't just be good at one thing anymore.
Yep. No, it's a different game now.
At the same time, I'd rather have that one thing than not have it.
Yeah, the way to win these days is to be a generalist that is really talented at one specific thing. You got to know everything, but the reality is that's why I have this 33 moves, okay? Because my 33 moves, they are all encompassing, and you have to know them all in order to get up to the blue belt, because you have to see everything. Like, you have to at least know that some people will do a headlock. You got to know that. Yeah, if you never seen that, you could get caught in it. It's the same thing we're talking about with traditional martial arts like Kung Fu, where, you know, we kind of giggle at it because we're all martial artists. Like MMA, we're all MMAists. But, like, you could do Kung Fu on a dude who doesn't know nothing. You could do, like, something crazy. Yeah, because these techniques work. Because, like Bruce Lee said, okay, what? You got a head, you got 2 arms, you got 2 legs, and a torso, right? So that's martial arts. What you do with that is martial arts. So, you know, techniques are the knowing a lot of techniques, knowing any weird thing that a guy will throw at you is half the battle. And then the other half is knowing what you can do.
Now, this is the first I'm hearing of Mayhem's 33 moves. What are you talking about?
Bro, I talked about it like 2 or 3 times. I've got 33 moves that if you know these 33 moves, it's a lot. I mean, it sounds like a little bit of moves, but it's a lot of moves. But if you know these 33 moves, then you're a pretty well-rounded martial artist.
So 30 moves like jiu-jitsu moves or just like...
No, I'm not giving it to you for free. It's MMA.
MMA, okay, so it's not...
Just Mayhem martial arts.
Okay, so I'm saying it's not jiu-jitsu. It's not like know these moves to get you a blue belt in jiu-jitsu. It's MMA. It's to be an overall mixed martial artist?
Yes. Because, you know, look, jiu-jitsu, I'm a black belt, 2 stripes. But the reality is that I've been a mixed martial artist for damn near, I guess, longer than I was a jiu-jitsu guy. Because I started out on this martial arts journey. I started out like wanting to be able to fight. I would go to karate schools and try to fight their teacher, you know, at 16. So I've always been on the MMA path. And because of my career path, you know, I got to train with the best camps in the world, the best martial artists in the world. I got to share techniques with guys from, you know, all across the world. And finally, I'm going to try to like put it together, package it for the whole world to see what I've learned.
Awesome. Okay, I'll be the first one to buy it. Now, who was
Hey, look, I know. Look, we definitely got to do a video of one of the techniques.
I'm down.
Oh,
now,
for sure.
Who was a person?
Awesome, Tyler.
Now, there's always like, as a wrestling coach, Tyler, you know this. There's always a kid that you're just like, oh, if that kid would have stuck with it, he would have been a state champion. There's usually like 4 kids a season that like you're just like, oh, you know. For us, it was that one kid that got academically ineligible. That was like amazing. Who's a guy, Mayhem, that you train with, and not to insult the person, but you couldn't believe they didn't go further in their MMA career? Like a Crazy Horse or something, or someone like Melvin.
Crazy Horse definitely like. I love that guy, but like, yeah, he's definitely made his own way. You know, like
the guy that you're like, this guy just would have got serious, or it didn't work for some reason. Like maybe Eric Bradley or someone, or like.
Yeah. Eric Bradley got in a lot of legal trouble, you know, doing gangster stuff. But I don't know. There's been millions of those dudes, right? That like, okay, if you stick with it and do it, then you'll be great at this.
Yeah.
But like, you know, every man has his own path. Every woman has their own path. You know, they got to walk their own walk. I mean, look, I knew a dude that like, he was fantastic. We would have some war sparring sessions, this Russian dude. And, you know, he went and started selling real estate. So, you know, he coulda, woulda, shoulda. And there's a million stories out there of people who didn't stick with it.
Like, was there a guy, like, because I'm sure, Tyler, we've seen a guy that we're like Derek. Derek is like on his way to becoming a national champion wrestler. But in 6th grade, he was not the kid that I would have picked to become a national champion wrestler. You know, I think he won, you know, he didn't place in the tournament, yada, yada. Is there a guy that you were like, man, this kid's, and next thing you know, you're like, what, knocking out?
That's the question. That's the good question. Because the reality is that, like, the dudes that are super talented, the reality is often they'll just fuck off, okay? And they won't put in the effort, and they won't become a champion. But Every once in a while, there's a dude who's not that talented, but he just works his ass off, and he just puts time in the gym. I owe a lot of my success to my hard head, but I also owe a lot of my success to just be grinding in the gym all the time.
Who's a guy like that in your gym? Is there a specific guy that you could say that you were like, when you first saw him, you were just like, kid's gonna be okay. Maybe he'll make, the WSOF one day or something, like an LFA or something, which is not.
Brendan Shaw.
Really?
Yeah, bro. He just kept sticking at it, and he kept working real hard, and like he had a successful career. He like did pretty damn good. Like I figured he's just a big lump, Like I was like, oh, okay, football guy, but he put in the hours. Brendan Shaw became a great martial artist. It's just a fact. And, it's because the effort that he expended in the gym, and a certain amount of talent, but, he put those hours in. Like that's how you get great. Ellenberger's had a great career too. He worked his ass off. Like there's a big group. The guys that worked their ass off, became something. We know them now, and the guys that didn't work, well, I'm sure they're on Facebook.
Right, but when you were at Dan Hendo's gym, right, back in the day, it was like Team Quest, right? It was like you, like Chael Sonnen was there, right? Was he there? It was
sometimes, yeah, he would come down.
Who else was that Team Quest? Was it Mac Danzig was there?
Yeah, he did come. Yeah, he was there. Who else?
Some other, obviously, like you said, it was the guy you just mentioned, Sokaju was there. Sokaju was a guy that, like, in the beginning, remember who did he knock out someone, like, quickly? Was it
Nogueira? Yeah, Nogueira. he just obliterated Nogueira with a left hook, I think. Oh man, that was a good one.
I mean, they were touting him as like the greatest of all time for a second, and people couldn't believe how explosive he was. And then he kind of got figured out, sort of. Like I guess enough tape got out on him that he kind of gassed,
Yeah, deep water kind of guy. Well, a guy like that, and again, I think that we talked with Chael Sonnen about it, because I pointed out to Chael that after 6 minutes he would get kind of gassed, and I think Sogaju had a similar thing because he came from the world of judo, and judo, man, after he hit like past the point that a judo match would be over, he would have trouble. He would have trouble because he was used to going like hard for 10 minutes or something like that. Like, and then he would hit a wall, and I don't know if he ever overcame that. I think he left Team Quest after a while, and I don't think that helped his career, because the Team Quest, like, we would work our ass off over there, and we had like really good conditioning circuits that were set up, and because of Dan Henderson's experience with like Olympic Training Center, and the people surrounding him were like all from the wrestling world. We really like had conditioning down to a science over there, and I know it helped my career for sure, because there are fights that I thought I would finish the guy quick that went on for a few rounds, and I had that extra amount in my gas tank because I'd been through so many conditioning circuits. The hard work is an overlooked component. I mean, the only time that we see it is on those I don't even watch those shows usually, Embedded, because I don't like to like get too emotionally attached to one fighter over the other, so I can look at things objectively, and that way tell our fans on MMA Roasted what I really think, disconnected from my emotions.
Yeah, also those embedded things. I remember those HBO countdown specials. Like, I'd be like, oh, this guy's going to win. And then I'd watch that, and then it always gave the other guy a good shot of winning. The way they
the editing bug, you know what I mean?
And I'd be like, oh, that guy's going to win. And then, my first pick was usually always right before watching that embedded thing.
So many times have I been emotionally invested in the other fighter on accident and not looked at things vividly. Like if they come on the podcast and I think they're going to lose, I still won't bet against them, because then if they win and I get them back on the show, I'll feel like a fraud
saying, "Oh, I'm so happy you won," when I really bet against him. I don't want to have that.
bro. Hey, man, look, I'll be the bad guy. Okay, you don't got to pick nobody. I'll be the bad guy, and if I'm fucking wrong, I'm fucking wrong. Okay, and I'll tell the fighter to their face, "I'm sorry, I was wrong. Prove me wrong." That's what I want. I want Gaethje to fucking prove me wrong. Show me that Tony Ferguson cannot beat you. I want to see that. And please come on the podcast afterwards and laugh in my face.
I don't think Gaethje likes me for some reason.
Look, nobody likes you, Adam. Like, haven't you figured that out yet? It's just me and Tyler. And Tyler, and the rest of the MMA world.
The insane MMA Roasted Podcast crew.
Yeah.
No, you know what? Look, we're the hottest podcast on the market right now, bro. We just can't stop winning. I don't know how, but I think it's Adam Hunter.
Yes.
I think everybody loves you, actually, dude. And you just think that Gaethje don't like you. I think he likes you. He's just scared that you're going to roast him. Because you always come up with the hot jokes. What's wrong with you?
It's funny because his dad came to my show and like his roommates and all his friends right before the Michael Johnson fight. Everyone came but him. That was a war too. It's Gaethje's funny because he was looking so good in WSOF. Those Palomino fights were amazing. Then he beat Michael Johnson. I think he beat somebody else, and then he ran into Poirier, and just like wrecked him. And
it's because it's just one of those things where a guy who's like a brawler, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to reduce Gaethje to a brawler. Kind of that's his style. He likes a fight, turns into a brawler, and a guy who has more polished kickboxing can kind of pick that apart. So,
Eddie Alvarez beat him too. But then since the Poirier loss, he's just been on a tear.
Yeah.
Knocking out Vic. Like a bunch of, just going through people, knocking out Donald Cerrone.
Man.
But Khabib's a different animal. Not Khabib. But Ferguson's a different animal.
Let me get your Fight Pass password, bro, because I gotta watch those. I think maybe I'm undereducated. I missed a few of those.
Yeah, he was just
throwing everything up on ESPN right now.
So are you gonna give me the password or what?
And YouTube.
Password, no problem, dude. Come on.
Dude, you have so much content on YouTube. It's insane.
That's fucking illegal. That's fucking illegal.
To give you my password and then to have you watch it and then take it back. I don't think that's illegal.
Oh, okay.
I don't think that's wrong. Is it wrong? People share Netflix passwords, right?
Yeah.
And chill.
Yeah. So, okay. Let me see Justin Gaethje because but the thing is, he's never in a boring fight, never once, and he's a 4-time, I think, All-American wrestler. He's just like, fuck it, I don't want to be in boring fights. He's 21. Nice. He beat Donald Cerrone. He knocked out Edson Barbosa. Knocked out David Vick, all in the first round. Before that, Poirier and Eddie Alvarez. He lost to both those guys. Before that, he beat Michael Johnson, and then that was his first fight in the UFC.
That first round was a danger zone for Tony. That's ooh, man. Style-wise, I don't know. I think this is a more dangerous fight than Khabib for Tony. I'll just be honest with you. It's true. I've been thinking about it, and style-wise, this is a more dangerous fight. I feel like because what you think? Bless you, COVID. Hey, but think about it.
Yeah.
How does Khabib always win? He grounds the shit out of everybody, right? And he overwhelms you with this wrestling skill.
Right.
Yeah, he makes you just waste energy trying to get up.
Okay.
All he's preventing anybody doing is getting up. That's
exactly. So now Tony Ferguson
and then opens up like punches every once in a while.
Yeah, and Tony Ferguson ain't really worried about the ground game. Okay, he's been doing that 10th planet forever, and maybe he'd lose a decision. Okay, but
see, exactly. I don't see
Tony
trying to get up.
Here's why
I'm just going to accept the ground fight.
But Gaethje on that let me finish. But Gaethje, on the other hand, is going to come out guns blazing, all right? And Tony Ferguson, he's had some fights where he's been dinked, bro. And he's been through wars before, and he's very durable. But how durable can he stay? You know, for 5 rounds, right? How durable can he stay the whole time? And can he catch him? Can he catch him? You know, I gave a slight edge to Tony Ferguson, but Gaethje is way more dangerous, in my opinion, than Khabib.
Here's why I disagree.
For Tony, yeah.
Gaethje makes a lot of mistakes, and Khabib makes none. I mean, almost none. I mean, he got rocked maybe by Michael Johnson. Maybe he did.
Almost guillotined by Boyd. Almost guillotined.
Well, yeah, but almost no mistakes in his fights. Whereas this dude makes tons of mistakes, and so does Ferguson. So I would just think that the guy that leaves himself with more openings would be the less dangerous fighter. No?
Well, I feel like it's just going to be more of a lottery because the mistakes will be made, and I feel like the sort of it's like a lottery of who's gonna make a mistake first, right? It's like a negative lottery. Like who's gonna fuck up biggest? And Gaethje's power is the X factor. You know, that's why it's an interesting fight because like who's gonna fuck up first?
Yeah, that's true. And like, you know, if Ferguson comes out and fights the same way he fought against Lando Venata, you know, remember that Lando Venata fight?
Yeah.
Oh, where he got dinked, where he like was kind of tired and stood up and got hit.
He got hit so many times and was
yes, a lot. Yeah.
That way, he's gonna lose this fight.
That's what I'm saying. Now, I would think that Ferguson figures out a way to kind of like, you know, ground him out a little bit. You know, like to like use his. I'm pretty sure that his reach is longer, so use his reach. Use a high guard, you know, and like don't take damage early on. Then Gaethje's arms a little wary, right? Get it to the ground somehow and finish the game. Now, again, you know, like I'm definitely a little bit of jiu-jitsu centric, right? But I think that Gaethje's ground game isn't up to the level.
Maybe you're right. I mean, he's got good wrestling. They both have good wrestling credentials. Gaethje's probably better.
Yeah, wrestling fantastic, but like wrestlers, look, we know that wrestlers make wrestler mistakes, and like if you keep your head down, right, and you give Tony, you know, this head down posture, and don't posture up and give your back, Tony's gonna make him pay for that.
Tony's wrestling too.
Well, we're looking.
I know
exactly. The guy we got on the show right now, Sadiq Yusef, the number 13 ranked fighter
Sadiq.
in the U.S.
Hey, how you doing?
How are you doing, man?
Fantastic. Can't complain.
What's your life been during the quarantine?
I think this is like one of the few times where everybody's kind of on the same boat. You know, just been staying inside. The only workouts I've been doing it all like stuff by myself, mostly just running, and that's about it.
So you're going outside? You're not worried?
Well, I'm usually by myself. Like I just go on long runs by myself. It's not like I'm not giving out hugs while I'm doing my miles.
Of course. So are you still in Texas right now?
No, I'm in Maryland. Vic is over in Texas.
Right. Okay, so you're in Maryland. Now your last fight was awesome. Close fight.
Yes, sir.
Fight. Exciting against Touchy Feely. Did that fight go how you wanted it, or what could you have done differently?
I feel like I mean, we got the win, so I can't complain. But the third round could have been a whole lot better. You know, I feel like I was looking for towards the end. I started looking for the big shots too much, but I can't complain. You know, as long as I was able to get a good win over a good guy, there's not really much I complain about. I just go back and watch like the things that I did technically wrong. So, but as far as like the performance is nothing I can really hang my head on.
Was he tougher than you thought he'd be?
No. I got a lot of respect for Philly, you know. He's one of these guys that I was watching before I even got into the UFC, back when I was just watching as a fan. So I kind of expected it to be a tough fight. I feel like everybody around like the number that I'm on, or like where like Philly was on and upwards, is gonna be a tough fight. You know, I have power, so I could of course put somebody out of there, but I'm not expecting it to happen every time.
Well, it was an awesome fight. And, I mean, you came on. So, Mayhem, a little backstory on him. He was on Dana White's Contender Series. They were hyping up the other guy. This next guy is the greatest guy in the history of fighting. This guy, he goes out and fucking blitzes him. Like, put on, like, everybody was shocked.
Oh, I saw it. And well, tell me about that second round. What you just took the second round off, kind of? Just like touched them? What was that about?
You're thinking about the last one. And yeah. So I won the first two. So the thing with in the last round, my going into it, I was like, all right, let me try to get this bonus and try to get like a big shot, you know. And then like 1 minute in, like a minute 30 in, and I see like the big shot wasn't coming, and then I was like, you know what, you already got 2 rounds in. Let's just seal the win. But the thing is, I didn't know how obvious that looked on TV, you know?
Yeah. I was like, what the hell, bro? You're just taking this round off, huh?
While I was in there, I thought it looked a little bit better than it did. I didn't.
I hear you.
Like breakdancing, doing the worm. It was
nice.
The thing that made it worse was that the commentators picked up on it too, so now they're talking about it. So
no, I watch it on mute, bro. I watch it on mute. I don't want to get infected by the commentators, but I saw it. I knew it. I was like, all right. Hey, who taught you to kickbox like that? Let's just give him a shout out right now.
Well, I've had a lot of good coaches, man. My coach, Jamal Hargrove, he's like my main striking coach. And then I have a whole lot of other boxing coaches that come and help me.
Well, who was in the corner for that fight we're talking about?
Jamal Hargrove.
No, okay. Yeah, well, bro, he did a fantastic job. You look like you got power, both hands. Your kickboxing looks real sweet. What are you doing to get better at wrestling? Because eventually you're going to run into, somebody who's trying to wrestle fuck you.
Yeah. I have a lot of good, like, wrestling coaches, and mostly my grappling, a lot of it is jiu-jitsu. Because my head coach, Lloyd Irvin, is like a world-class jiu-jitsu guy, and not anybody in the jiu-jitsu world knows him. But Josh Asper has been helping me with my wrestling. And a lot of my teammates, even though I don't grapple a lot in my fights, I spend more of my practice time grappling than anything else. You know, people see me as a striker first, but I grapple way more than I do striking. It's just a lot of my grappling comes in jiu-jitsu form.
Yeah, I can see the potential for you to really like have like a blast double in your arsenal. You know, because when I see you jump up, I'm like, oh, okay, you got that kind of hops. All right. So I feel like a nice blast double to put in your tool belt would be something that nobody would expect, man. And these hooks, I'm just glad I can't make that weight, bro. I'm like, I'm putting my chin down right when I see you swinging, bro. Like, it's a thing of beauty to see you do that and string some combinations together, you know. That low kick, oh my God. That one is nice, man.
That's my thing, man. I got a lot of that stuff from old school. The first person I ever seen like really put the calf kick into their game was Ben Henderson, and then James Krause did it a lot too. A lot of people don't give James Krause a lot of credit for that calf kick, but James Krause, he was hitting the calf kick like early on. It was just only him and Benson, and then I was playing with it before that, and then one time I saw Lorenz Larkin not finish somebody, but he kind of when he fought Neil Magny, and that's when it really opened my eyes. I was like, oh man, like, because when James Krause and Ben Henderson do it, it's like every once in a while they'll find a little bit of success with it, but Lorenz kind of put his whole game plan around the calf kick, and that's when I started realizing how effective that technique is.
Well, to tell the audience, like, just give us a little bit of peek behind the curtain, like. How do you set that angle up? Is it a jab hook or?
Yeah. So I'm about to give out my secrets.
Give us the secret, baby. Nobody watches us yet, so they'll watch this in 6 months. They'll watch this in 6 months.
A lot of times, depending on the other persons, you might not have to set it up. Like people that are like real boxing heavy. People that stand like real heavy on their lead leg, and in kickboxing and Muay Thai, people don't really turn their front foot inside. A lot of them keep it straight or they turn it out because they get ready to check the kick. But people that are boxing heavy, they slightly turn it inside no matter what. With those kind of people, you don't really have to set it up because by the time you throw the kick, by the time they turn in, you're going to hit them because you're not really aiming for the thigh. If you're aiming for the thigh, they have enough time to turn their leg back in to check you. But if you're aiming for the calf, by the time they start turning this way, you're going to hit it anyways. But the people that are in a regular like MMA stance that don't have their legs turned in this way, then I usually try to circle to their strong side, which people say is wrong because it's a little dangerous because you're circling to the backhand. But if you're far enough away from them, you know they're not going to hit you with that right hand. So I circle to their strong side, and then when they circle to meet up with you, you stop before they stop. So as soon as
my God, bro.
turn this way, that's when you fire off the kick again. And once
Man,
you hit
thank you for sharing that. Yeah.
Once you hit it twice, by the second time, and the damage is already there, then you don't have to set it up anymore. Because no matter what, even if they check it, it's already hurt. It's gonna.
I know. Yeah, you've definitely showcased that, man. Like, what about head kicks? Are you coming with them in these next fights coming up? Because it looks like you're developing that.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I think. I almost hit Philly with one, but I think it missed a little bit. But I definitely hit Gabriel with a head kick, and a lot of that stuff too is just setting it up with starting off from the bottom up. And same thing with snap kicks. I really like coming down the middle, but the head kick is something I would look for after I've hurt their legs already.
Yeah, and I know that you learned that snap kick from Steven Seagal, so you don't even have to go into that. Hey, all right.
He pulled me in. He talked to me right before the fight. He showed me the snap kick, so I started throwing it after that.
Listen, he saved my life one time, but that's a whole nother story.
Sadiq, how's your family? I know your family, you have a lot of family in Africa. How are they doing with the whole virus?
Man, it's crazy over there. You know, like they're on in Nigeria, they're on like complete lockdown quarantine right now, and because of like there's so much misinformation out there. Like my big brother just called me day before yesterday asking me about 5G towers and telling me they're putting 5G towers in his neighborhood. It was like, should I be worried and blah, blah, blah. Like, man, it's like there's no science behind it. I don't know what to tell you, man. There's nothing that's like putting those two things together right now. We just listen to what the CDC is saying about staying safe and not going to big crowds. But Lagos is so big and so populated. I'm really surprised that they're able to enforce this law. But it sounds like they're actually doing a good thing right now.
No, but it's cool though because your brother sent me an email and I sent him $2,000 to put up the 5G towers.
That's good. That's
he's
good.
He's gonna send me back 100,000.
He's probably gonna send you back over 100. You know, so. Try to get a couple of your friends, like maybe your loved ones and stuff. If all of you could gather up enough money, send them $100,000, he could get you guys $1 million. I promise you.
Okay, and it's great to be talking to royalty here, the Nigerian prince. Man, thanks a lot, bud. I appreciate you helping me with it.
You're part of some scam with the guy from
Oh God! Quit explaining our joke, Adam.
All right, so
417, baby.
No, the guy from Power who said he got beat up, the gay guy. Those were his own.
Oh man, when that thing happened, when he said he got helped by 2 Nigerians, man, yo, I had a riot. Come on, dog. And then what made it worse is he tried to pull an okie doke and turn it around on the Nigerian dudes to try to get them in trouble. I was like, nah, it's too late now, man.
Now, Sadiq, every time you win, you're allowed to bring another family member to live here. Is that how it goes?
I wish it worked like that, man. I really do. You know? But no, the wins, a lot of it is just having more resources to help them out. Like we was actually on the way to try to, we just got our citizenship right before the last fight.
Congratulations.
So,
congrats, man.
Yeah, welcome to America, bro. Hell yeah.
Thank you, man. So we was actually on our way trying to work some stuff out before this virus stuff hit. So everybody's kind of on a standstill right now. So we're just trying to figure out what's happening with the UFC, what's happening with the borders. There's a whole lot of craziness going on right now. Everybody's just standing still watching. I know Dana White just announced that they're having a Tekken tournament in some island right now. So we're gonna see.
Tekken tournament is the best name for it, bro. Thanks for that.
Now, what is it, Sadiq, about Nigerians right now in the UFC? You, Usman, Ngannou, is he from Nigeria? Ngannou?
No, Ngannou is from Cameroon. I think that's what I was about to say. Like, it's kind of like a whole African wave coming, you know? And it's one of those things that once you kind of see somebody that comes from where you come from achieve something big, it makes it easier to fathom you being able to do it. So that's what I think the talent is already there, you know, and the athleticism is there. So now all you just need is an example. And once one person was able to get it done, it's just more motivation for everybody else. So I feel like Kamaru kind of started a good way for the rest of us to walk on with.
Where's Stylebender from?
Nigeria.
He's from Nigeria too.
Wow.
Me, Stylebender is, I think we're from the same tribe. I think he's Yoruba too. I'm not sure what Kamaru is. I know because I hear him speak broken English a lot, but I don't know what tribe he is.
Yeah, he Mo Lawal, man, he's got Nigerian ancestry. So like I feel like, look, and I've studied martial arts in every form, and I saw like Nigerian wrestling, like they had, and then I'm talking about, bro, this is just a bunch of amazing athletes, strange techniques too, like a different set, you know. And I really like to see that all over. And I think it's just beautiful that, like, you know, the home of humanity, you know, the cradle of civilization, Africa, and to see you guys now, like, developing with all the different martial arts techniques and just to see this, like you said, African wave come through, man, it's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. You know, I feel like it's fucking badass. Like, it's fun to see.
They like huge guys wearing like cloths. Is that what I think I?
Yeah, it's called Gidigbo. And
what is it? Wait, Diddy what?
Gidigbo. So
I can't say it like that. Gidigbo.
Gidigbo.
Okay, I got you.
I'll not Americanize it for you. But it's funny because in Nigeria, the Igbo tribe people are kind of known for being like strong, and they do that martial arts a lot, you know. But like in the UFC, is our tribe are the main ones in there, so that's kind of like a running joke in the country.
You know what, man? I'm after this Corona thing is over, I'm headed over to, wait, what's the tribe's name?
Igbo,
and I'm gonna teach those motherfuckers jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai and Greco-Roman wrestling, and we're coming for you, the Igbo tribe. Igbo tribe.
Yes, sir.
You know what's funny though? I talked to the guy at Fight Pass, and I think he wants to put that on Fight Pass because those guys are jacked, right? Those wrestlers,
like,
fucking solid, and they're like, he's like, check this out, and showed it to me. And he's like, I'm talking to them about putting that on Fight Pass. I'm not kidding.
Hey, if you could get those guys paid, man, that would be a good look for them.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
I would watch that all day, dude.
Wait, no, let's get away from that and let's ask this guy, how much you walking at, bud?
Me? 146.
Yes. What? And what do you got to make?
145.
Oh, you're full of shit.
Full of shit. This dude is drinking Dr. Peppers. This guy is probably eating M&Ms. Get out of here, 146. Bro, yeah, maybe your head weighs 146 right now.
Look, I only cut about 1 pound. It's just a real heavy weight, 1 pound, you know?
Okay, Zoomer.
So Jesse canceled today, by the way. So we're
hey, wait, let me tell this, man. Look, we're about to have the exact opposite of you on the podcast, but you canceled. It was a like blonde bubble tit white girl that does pornography, and we were gonna have you on to see that if you just like burst through the screen at this woman. Because I have a feeling you probably like white girls. Hey, and don't worry, we'll get you as many as you need later. But otherwise, like today, you've just been a fantastic guest, man. We really appreciate you.
Oh, you have a girlfriend, right, Sadiq?
How many girlfriends does he have? He's allowed to have like 8, isn't he?
The funny thing is, I'm actually from a polygamous family. So
you're from a where? I'm sorry.
A polygamous family. Like my dad had 4 wives.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a Mayhem family. Same thing.
And you have 20 siblings, right?
Yeah. Well, no, there's 16 of us kids. Yeah, there's 16 of us kids.
Wow.
Wow.
And are you like the middle son or
No,
what?
no, I'm the second to the last. That was one of the things that was hard to get used to when I came to America, because then I became the big brother. It was me and my little brother that came over here. So it was very strange because now you lose the protection. Back then, you don't get messed with because you got 14 older brothers and sisters that are gonna run up on people if anything ever happens to you, you know?
You ever have,
Yeah.
you ever have family fights like you're 16 against someone else 16?
Oh no. We had family soccer games. We definitely had that where we made up of the Yusuff family versus the other kids in the neighborhood.
Nice.
He told us he has 4 moms, but they all don't sleep in the same bed with the dad. It's like
Come on.
It's one of those things that as you get older and you start asking questions, you're like, man, do I want to know the answer to this shit, man? It's like,
oh my God.
I think one of the answers I got was that they alternated, but I was like, that's as much as I need to know, man.
Yeah, that's enough. Yeah, that's enough.
you start calling your mom Monday and your other mom Tuesday.
Hey, I don't want to think about anything else today.
Stop, bro. Enough, Adam. Enough.
It's weird when you grow up and start like seeing your parents as adults too. As just
And
like,
wondering
like,
if they did anal.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
My bad. Sorry. I just can't stop. I'm sorry, bro.
Yeah, you say stop. You said your parents do anal. That's the story of this podcast.
Listen, I'm sorry.
Sadiq, so who do you want to fight next?
Man, honestly, right now, I don't care. As long as it's anybody that's ranked with me, you know. I see a couple of guys all got their fights lined up. Because the way I saw it through my whole career, I've never really picked my opponents. My coaches just used to call me and tell me, hey, this guy's up next. So I kind of just stayed that same way. Until I kind of see a title picture coming on, I don't really care either way. And the thing with the 45 top 15 is almost all the fights are the same fight. The only fight that I see that's different is Ryan Hall because he's a jiu-jitsu guy. But everybody else is all like striker, MMA guy then. So it doesn't really matter to me.
Well, we just had Chase Hooper on. He talked a lot of shit about you, by the way. He was saying all
man, he's always talking shit about me, dog. Like ever since we fucking met, I'm messing around, man. Chase Hooper he was actually on the same contender the same week I was on. So I got to see him fight. He fought right before me. So now Chase Hooper, he's a cool kid. He's a funny guy, man.
Totally. Now, how long have you had this girlfriend for?
It's been a minute, man. It's been a minute. Wow, you trying to set me up on a marriage or something?
No, I'm just wondering, like, are you with her during the quarantine at least?
No. She's actually one of the people that's working. I stay at the fighter house most of the time. It's just me and a couple of my other teammates that stay here. And then like every once in a while I'll go visit like my brother and my mom. So like anybody that's coming over here is just coming to visit. People don't really stay here.
So she's working as what? She's a nurse?
She's a physical therapist.
Oh, well, tell her thank you for doing that.
Yeah. So there are a lot of them. Luckily, she's still working, man. You know, like the people that are still working. I know everybody's like, "Oh, thank you, man. We appreciate you doing your kind work." It's like, man, you're making money. That's what I mean. It's like, trust me, it'll be a whole lot worse being the people that aren't making money right now. Yeah. Now, those people, I bet you, those people are feeling some real pain.
So, would you, if he called you and said, "Want you to fight on Dana White's Fight Island," would you do it?
Oh yeah. Nah, that's man. When I said they're having a Tekken tournament, I didn't say that as a bad thing. It was like, I want to be part of a Tekken tournament. Like,
all right. What if someone asked you want to fight on Mayhem's riverboat? Would you fight on my riverboat?
That's a big downgrade from the Tekken.
Yeah, I know. No, you're right. No, you're right. But listen, I don't have an island in the budget. Okay, I'm doing the best with what I got to work with, Sadiq. God, let me borrow $1,000.
I'll give it a strong consideration on the island boat.
All right.
You have a cool accent, you know, because it's still African, but it's a really cool accent, by the way.
Yeah, thank you, man. A lot of times my teammates would tell me, like, I don't hear it, but they'll tell me, like, when I start talking real fast, it turns completely African.
You sound a little bit Jamaican, though. You get Jamaican?
Yeah, you know, Jamaica, Africa, other side of the world, you know, kind of the
same. Not the same place, but all right.
You know, one is on this side of the planet, one's on this side of the planet.
Yeah. Right, so, final question. Who wins, Ferguson or Gaethje?
I'm gonna go. It's gonna be sad, man, but I'm gonna go with Gaethje. The reason why I think it's going to be sad is because I feel like Tony did a whole lot to get a real title shot, you know, and I feel like he might just lose this opportunity to Gaethje, which if they were fighting, it would be cool for them to be fighting for a real belt. Gaethje has a lot of power, man. Like, and people sleep on Gaethje's like striking technique. I know it looked like he's like real wild out there, but Gaethje turns his punches over nice, man.
Yeah.
Like he if he touch you, he could put anybody to sleep. So, and he's not going to wrestle. I don't see him wrestling. I don't see either one of them wrestling, honestly. And Tony's crazy. Tony's going to stay there and let you punch him. And I feel like if he stays there and let Gaethje punches him, Gaethje is going to put him to sleep. You know, I've seen Tony get dropped by people that don't turn their punches over like Gaethje do and people that don't hit as hard as Gaethje. So I'll probably have to lean towards Justin Gaethje.
I love it. Well, listen, Sadiq, thank you for coming on. Where can people follow you?
Man.
Twitter.
Everything, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Super Sadiq, even Mike. Nah, I don't got no MySpace, but everything is all Super Sadiq. Just look up.
Are you on TikTok?
You said what?
Are you on TikTok?
I made it, but I never used it, you know, because I think the UFC told us to make it like a long time ago. So I never posted anything on there. But I'm on TikTok too. I guess one of these days I'll come up with a dance and post it on TikTok.
Thanks for that, bud.
Join the club. Coming on, and don't forget us when you're the champion.
100%, man. I got you guys. It's always fun. Every time I come on the show, I always have a good laugh. So
Hell yeah.
All right, well, that is our podcast. Thank you guys, and have a.
Thank you, Sadiq. Hey, thank you,
Thank you
Adam
for having
Hunter. Thank you, Tyler.
Thank you, Jason.